If you're over 60 and you've noticed your muscles aren't what they used to be, your arms feel softer, your legs weaker, and even climbing stairs feels harder, listen closely. Because what you're about to hear might surprise you. Most people over 60 are unknowingly eating foods that accelerate muscle loss, make their bones fragile, and drain their energy day by day. And the worst part? These foods are often marketed as healthy. But here's the truth. If you want to rebuild your strength, move with confidence, and feel like you did in your 40s again, there's one overlooked food group you need to rethink entirely: cheese. Yes, cheese can either be your best friend or your worst enemy, depending on what kind you eat. So, today, let's talk about the 7 types of cheese you should avoid after 60, and the one powerful kind you should eat almost every day if you want to rebuild muscle, stay strong, and age with energy and grace. Let's start with something most people don't realize. As we age, our body's ability to process and use protein starts to decline. It's called anabolic resistance. That means even if you're eating the same amount of protein you did in your 30s or 40s, your body is no longer turning it into muscle as efficiently. And that's why muscle loss or sarcopenia creeps in silently after 50 or 60. But here's where cheese can be a game changer. It's rich in high-quality protein, calcium, and certain bioactive compounds that can actually help preserve and rebuild muscle tissue. The problem is, not all cheeses are created equal. Some are overloaded with sodium, saturated fats, and artificial preservatives that do more harm than good, especially for aging bodies. So let's go through the cheeses to watch out for first, then the one you should eat to rebuild your strength like you're 40 again. The first one to avoid is processed cheese slices, those bright yellow squares that melt perfectly on burgers. Sure, they look convenient, but they're not real cheese. They're a mix of cheese byproducts, vegetable oils, emulsifiers, and preservatives. And here's the kicker. Processed cheese contains so much sodium phosphate that it can leach calcium from your bones over time. For someone over 60, that's a double blow. You're losing bone density while also increasing your blood pressure. Instead, if you love that creamy melt, go for a slice of real cheddar or Swiss cheese, both natural, protein-rich, and without the chemical cocktail. The taste is richer, and your body will thank you for it. Next up, cream cheese, the breakfast favorite that spreads so smoothly on toast or bagels. It might feel light and harmless, but it's mostly fat and water with very little protein. Plus, it's loaded with saturated fat, which can raise your LDL cholesterol and increase your risk of heart issues. For older adults trying to stay lean and strong, cream cheese gives you calories without nutrients. It fills you up but doesn't fuel your muscles. Instead, swap it for cottage cheese or ricotta. Both are soft, creamy, and packed with protein. Cottage cheese especially is a muscle-building powerhouse because it contains casein, a slow-digesting protein that keeps feeding your muscles even while you sleep. Now let's talk about cheese spreads and dips. You know those tubs or jars labeled cheddar spread or nacho cheese dip? These are some of the worst offenders. They're filled with artificial colorings, flavor enhancers, and hydrogenated oils that your liver and heart struggle to process. These additives cause inflammation, which makes it harder for your muscles to recover and rebuild after daily activities. Think about that. If your body is inflamed on the inside, even light exercise feels harder, your joints ache, and your muscles weaken faster. Instead of these neon orange spreads, use real cheese grated over food or a small amount of Greek yogurt-based dip. You'll still get that creamy satisfaction without the muscle-damaging chemicals. Fourth, blue cheese. Now, this one surprises people because it's often seen as fancy or gourmet. And yes, it has flavor, but it's also incredibly high in sodium and fat. Just 1 ounce of blue cheese can contain over 300 milligrams of sodium and nearly 10 grams of fat. For someone over 60, that's a salt bomb your kidneys and arteries don't need. High sodium can cause water retention, which makes you feel bloated and sluggish. And more importantly, it raises blood pressure, straining your heart. If you enjoy that tangy bite, choose feta instead, especially low-sodium feta. It gives you flavor, calcium, and a decent protein hit without overwhelming your system. The fifth cheese to avoid is brie and other soft-ripened cheeses. These elegant, creamy varieties look innocent, but they're high in saturated fats and can be tough on digestion. The rind, while natural, often carries mold strains that can cause bloating or mild inflammation in sensitive people. Remember, as we age, digestion slows down and our gut bacteria become more delicate. Heavy cheeses like brie can sit in your stomach longer, leading to fatigue or discomfort. Instead, go for goat cheese. It's lighter, easier to digest, and rich in beneficial fats and protein that actually support gut and muscle health. Goat cheese also contains less lactose, which makes it gentler on your system. Now number 6, flavored cheeses, like pepper jack, herb-infused cheddar, or smoked varieties. They might sound harmless, but most of the flavor comes from chemical additives, not natural ingredients. Many are packed with sodium, artificial smoke flavor, and even hidden sugars. Yes, sugar in cheese. These additives can spike inflammation and make your muscles less responsive to growth signals. Instead of buying pre-flavored cheese, buy plain cheese and add your own herbs and spices at home. Fresh rosemary, basil, black pepper, or even turmeric. It's cheaper, healthier, and actually supports anti-inflammatory recovery. And now the 7th cheese to watch out for, Parmesan, especially the powdered kind. Don't get me wrong, real Parmesan, shaved off the block, can be fantastic. But the stuff in the green shaker bottle, it's often less than 80% real cheese. The rest is anti-caking agents like cellulose powder, literally wood pulp, and preservatives to extend shelf life. Over time, these fillers can mess with digestion and nutrient absorption. Plus, most people shake way too much of it, adding hidden sodium to everything. The better choice? Buy a small wedge of real Parmesan or Pecorino Romano, grate it fresh, and use sparingly. The flavor is stronger, so you'll naturally use less. Okay, so we've covered the 7 cheeses that might be sneaking into your meals and quietly holding back your strength. Now let's get to the exciting part. The cheese you should be eating regularly if you want to rebuild muscle and strength like you're 40 again. And that hero cheese is cottage cheese. It might sound old-fashioned, but it's one of the most underrated muscle-building foods on the planet, especially for people over 60. Here's why. Cottage cheese is rich in casein protein, which digests slowly over several hours. That means while you sleep, your muscles are still being fed amino acids to rebuild and repair. It's also packed with calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin B12, all crucial for bone and nerve health.